الله أكبر الله أكبر.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه وحبيبه، والرحمة المهداة والنعمة المزداة والسراج المنير. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد في الأولين والآخرين والملأ الأعلى إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. Brothers and sisters, since 9/11 up to the last terror attack in Paris, there is increased incidents of attack on Muslims living in the West. According to police reports, Jumma reports, that the number of the verbal and physical abuse against Muslims has doubled. I personally and members of my family have been subject to this kind of verbal abuse. These individual attacks are strongly condemned and unacceptable, and an effort is needed to tackle it. Muslims, like any other citizen, must feel safe and secure in his own country and practice the chosen way of his religion. Some Muslims take advantage of this Islamophobic incidents and similar activities to tell us that the West hates Islam and Muslims. Or you hear another statement says Islam is in danger, or the war against Islam sometimes, or would say that Muslims' sufferings is due to Western activities. And by Western, they mean Britain, France, America, Israel. And they say that these countries are day and night, are busy creating difficulties and problems to hurt Islam and Muslims. It is believed that this is a part of a great design to undermine Islam and Muslims. And therefore, they become suspicious of everything that coming from the West, or anyone who doesn't agree with this point of view. If you don't agree with this point of view that Islam, that the West hate Muslims, and the shortcomings and the weaknesses in the Muslim majority countries or on the local here within us as a Muslim community, if you don't agree with that, you would be part of the Western tools to undermine Islam and Muslims. This is called conspiracy theory, to which many Muslims, unfortunately, subscribe to. And brothers and sisters, what I want to say in this khutbah, there are Islamophobic incidents, definitely, it's individual acts, and there are an effort needed to tackle it. But to believe that it is a part of a conspiracy, that some people are day and night designing problems for Muslims living in the Muslim majority country or in the West, I think it is not real. It is only imagined, it's only in our brain. And I think it is extremely bad to believe that, because it destroys the will and the determination of the individual to improve himself or improve his community. It makes the people very passive, receiving the course of action without the ability to take any action. It makes us lamenting our destiny, wailing for our own status, without looking for the real cause of our problem. I think this type of thinking, brothers and sisters, is extremely destructive, because it never takes the responsibility for the action that you are responsible for, to avoid self-criticism. We all the time want to say, it is not our fault. It is other people's fault. For instance, Muslim, till the moment, any problems in a Muslim majority country, they would relate it to colonialism, that we've been occupied by others, and now we are suffering because of these problems. But the question could be reversed. Why have you been occupied in the first place? Because you are weak, and let others occupy you. And when you were strong and powerful, you was also able to expand your own territory and get out of your own zone. So you find someone else to take the blame, because to put the problems on your own shoulder, to take the responsibility is hard. It needs bravery. It's painful. And the people would like to avoid pain. They would like someone to calm them down, to reassure them, but not to wake them up and say, these are the problems. Stand up for the challenge. This is your mistake. Stand up for the mistake and correct it. People don't like that. We would like that to say other people are in charge. We are not in charge. And we start going in a very running circle that other people causes our problems. We are not in charge of our own mistakes. And I would like here to cite the example of, or before citing this example, is the Quran itself. After the defeats in the Battle of Uhud, the Quran doesn't gloss things. It says, the companions, it's because of your mistake. It's your own fault. It's not other people's fault. It's your own weaknesses. فَبِمَا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِيكُمْ. Strong criticism to the companion after the defeat of the Battle of Uhud. And the Quran calls it defeat. It's a defeat. It doesn't gloss the victory or the defeat and turning it into a victory. It's a defeat. And the Prophet ﷺ was among the companions, and they were defeated. I imagine myself, or as a Muslim community in general, or a Muslim majority country, if we were in the shoes of the Japanese nation after the Second World War, having their country bombarded by atomic bomb, literally wiped out of the map. I imagine if this country, if Japan were Muslims, what would be the scenarios like to recreate Japan again? I imagine if Japan were Muslims, I imagine the scenario will be like this. The imams, scholars in Japan, if they are Muslims, they will stand up and they will say that the suffering that we are having is because America dropped the bombs. And we are not able to build ourselves because of the mistakes of the Americans. And they would wail how many mosques have been destroyed, how their holy lands been violated. Their politicians will also follow the same line of thought. How some of them would call for revenge and jihad and fighting. The Japanese didn't think this way at all. The Japanese didn't choose this course of action at all. They didn't wail, subscribing to a conspiracy theory that the Americans hate them, and they didn't equally call for confrontation. They directed their attention to build up themselves internally in all spheres of life: economy, political, social, educational, culture. They realized that wailing, playing a role of a victim, will not benefit them and it will not hurt others. And they know their own limitations, so they didn't choose confrontation and they didn't waste their own time and energy in useless efforts. I think this is the attitude, turning their country from something not there at all into paradise on earth by way of thinking, by putting their hands on the real troubles, real problems. I think Muslims, we are important, yes. Some parts of our country could be rich, yes. But there are many other parts in the world are more important and richer than Muslims, and more important for the West to think of them rather than Muslim countries, and they don't think in the same way. Conspiracy theory. If we take China, Russia, and now India, in which Muslims live as a minority, for instance, they work very hard to create life on their land for growth, which is a reflection of the word Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The barakah of Allah is the growth, is the investment, is creating life. هو أنشأكم من الأرض واستعمركم فيها. He created you in the land, and He made us our trustee on the land to create life on the land, not to create death. The Quran tells us that in life there is a competition. Sunnat al-Tadafu', the law of competition. Sunnat al-Tadafu' is the law that governs the universe. There is a competition between the powerful, between the weak, and you are part of this design. And this competition can create conflict. But you need to stand up for the competition, not to wail for if the person didn't succeed in his own plan. So they stand up for their own action and correct themselves. In summary, brothers and sisters, what I wanted to say today about Islamophobia and conspiracy theory, I would like to say we shouldn't invite victimhood language. It is bad, inflammatory language that creates a climate of discontent, anger, frustration, suspicion, passive, stagnant mentality that look for justification for failure and weaknesses. Stretch your hands to the countries of the world and learn. Compete in this market, learning from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam hadith that al-hikmah dalatul mu'min. The wisdom is the lost property of the Muslim. Whenever he finds it, he takes it. We shouldn't exaggerate our own merits and accept the changes in our world. Interact with all parts and all departments in our country. تقبل الله منا ومنكم وجزاكم الله خيرا. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين. نسأل الله في نهاية هذا اللقاء الطيب المبارك أن يجعلنا ممن يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا وقلبا خاشعا ورزقا واسعا وعملا متقبلا وشفاء من كل داء. اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى والتقى والقصد والعفاف والغنى. اللهم إنا نسألك عيشة هنية وميتة سوية ومردا غير محزن ولا فاضح يا أرحم الراحمين. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله.